How do we separate the wheat for the chaff?
Time to talk!
The straw man. So how do we separate the wheat for the chaff? Right. The question is, what is the shape of the earth that we're living on or in? It's a purely natural science question. It's about objectivity. It's not about subjectivity, personalities, or any of these things. So a good way to separate the wheat for the chaff is to understand logic, because that is what we're dealing with here on this question. It's got absolutely nothing to do with emotions. Although people are experiencing emotions, that's not going to give us any answers, or as Marty pointed out 5 minutes ago, any progression forward. So logic, if we're looking at the flat earth, prominent flat earth people, I would start applying logic in order to discover who the agents are or who the players are. The first alarm bells for me is what's called in logic terms logical fallacies. The main one being attacking personalities. Right? That is a logical fallacy. As soon as anybody starts entering into that, for me, they're giving their game away. And any of these people that try and justify it by saying, oh well, I'm just trying to warn people about the pitfalls of following this person or that person, are talking through a hole in their arse. Do you know what I mean?
Why?
I mean, Matt, yesterday, or no, Sunday, there's a prominent flat earther, a couple of prominent flat earthers, you know them as Laurie Freary and Lawrence Wright. Now, you'll be well aware, as the same as I am, that them and a lot of other people are continually attack other names. Other flat earthers are attacking them, and they're all getting involved in this bitch fest. Now, when I presented it to them, and I've got screen grabs of all this stuff if anybody wants to see it, on flatearthconspiracy.com I posted my video up, mine and Marty's video, about flat earth bitching about the bitchers and other hot totties. Now when I put that up, Laurie Freary within 2 minutes was commenting on it, saying, yeah, they might have nice faces, but blah blah blah, and she went into a tirade, and I said,
2 minutes.
After 2 minutes,
3/4 of an hour video.
Aye,
Wow.
and I put that to her, and I
Maybe
said,
she's got one of the microwave computers. You know, you can watch a 45-minute video in 2 minutes.
now in that video I was not attacking anybody. I wasn't mentioning names and who was attacking. I used certain names who were the focus of attack. And in that video we were trying to focus on what was important. As I say, within 2 minutes there was a...
What's important is the message, know the message.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Within 2 minutes I had the response. Now obviously I read the response and says to her, you know, it feels as if you're coming across as if you haven't understood or you've not watched the whole thing. Response to that was, I watched enough to be able to comment as usual. Now that's, unless you've watched the whole thing, you've not watched enough to be able to comment.
No.
You
can't read the first chapter of a book and then suddenly know what the whole fucking book's about. You've got to read the whole fucking
exactly.
book.
So my response then was, well, okay, so you never understood my accent. You only watched 2 minutes of it, but you feel it's enough to comment. That's fine, that's okay. Then she's come back with trying to justify it in some way. As I said before, when we're dealing with logic, attacking personalities is a logical fallacy. Please understand logical fallacy, understand logic and reasoning, look at the terminologies and how people go into logical debates or discussions.
Also, as I say, use due diligence. If somebody just comes on and it's just, you're this or you're that, they're not contributing towards the discussion, but do your due diligence. The first thing you can do is you can click on their name and it takes you to their YouTube account.
Yep.
Now I've found one now who's got 48 subscribers.
Yep.
No videos, but 48 subscribers. You know, seriously, you've got to think of that. Now, I've asked the guy what he's done that's entitled him to 48 subscribers because he's got no videos, no uploads, no nothing. So obviously it must be through his comments. People have liked his comments.
Yeah.
But what's he said? You know, that's what I've asked him. What if he says that you've got all these followers? You know,
No,
things like that. That's what I'm talking
Aye.
about with due diligence. You need to try and find out as much as you can about people, whether it's through their Facebook accounts or whether it's through their YouTube channels. It's not a case that you're no getting into these people to try and fund something to attack. You're doing their due diligence so you can find out the kind of person you're operating with.
Yeah.
Whether they're interested in having a discussion or whether they want to just talk at you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this isn't about talking at, it's about talking with.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I see it.
It's
But
progression.
that's
They're
just
trying
my
to progress, you know.
wee opinion.
So
there.
we have to apply logic. You know, a lot of these people are aiming at people on an emotional level. This is never going to be about emotion. You know, this is about natural science, objectivity. It's trying to remove the subjective, you know, personality, emotions, whatever you like. And it's going on constantly, as I say. For me, trying to apply logic, how to separate the wheat from the chaff for me is I look at these people, as soon as I see them entering into logical fallacy, I pull back. They're either unaware, not smart enough to realise what they're doing, or they're doing it deliberately. You know? And when you confront them and you ask them about it, you know, you confront somebody with a logical fallacy and they come back trying to defend or sweep it over or under the carpet, then I'm sorry, but alarm bells are seriously ringing for me, because you're not applying reasoning and logic here. You've got an agenda. So, as I was saying to you, what is this agenda? You know?
It's getting portrayed
it's the
as a
same.
battle.
Aye, because it's the same tactic as always, divide and conquer.
Correct.
But at the same time, you're controlling both oppositions. Now, the both oppositions in this case are the ball earthers and flat earthers. No, the both oppositions are flat earthers and flat earthers.
Aye.
Right. So there's some sort of agenda going on to try and
Aye.
Yeah.
It's the proverbial, they're just diluting the discussion. They're putting so much shite in amongst it,
Aye.
and you've got to try and shovel through the
Aye.
shite. This is what you say to folk. Screw the shite, stick to logic.
Yeah.
You know, if you stick to logic, you're in with a good shout. If you start playing with their shite, believe me, you're just going to
Aye.
get fucking taken round in circles.
and as I say, applying the logic, sticking to the scientific method, what we can prove, what we know for a fact, right? So these people who will sit and slag other people for employing maps and working on maps, then turn around and do the exact same thing. It's a diamond shape, it's a square moving in a straight line with a time loop. You know, that is not any different from what they're claiming other people are doing. But yet they'll sit there and spend time. I mean, I watched that again on Sunday. As I get back to that, when I put that post up, and she backtracked, and then she says to me that they were doing a show about the night it was going to be about agents and infiltration and blah blah blah. And I says to her, good, I hope you're gonna focus on why, as I said on that previous video, why it's people's own fault for following, and explaining to them why they're using emotion and jumping to follow and idolise people. You know, there's no constructive layout showing people logical fallacy and educating them how to apply critical thought. No, it's just substanceless fucking crap, right?
People get mesmerised by fancy
Aye,
words.
it's like, aye, sensationalism, because all they ever do is go, Mark Sargent and Patricia Steer are CIA agents and they're trying to steer you this direction, you know, as if they've got control over people. No, that's not the issue. The issue is why people are in that frame of mind to follow them in the first place. You know, as I was saying the other day, there's no such thing as a leader. All there is followers. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You don't lead anybody anywhere. People follow you.
Or as I say, we live in a corporate world now, so it's not as if you're sold anything. You fucking buy it.
Exactly, man. As we said before, you know, everything's consent. And these people who are coming out and using that, as I say, they're not showing people how it's their own emotional.
No.
Emotion
isn't science at the end
No,
of the
it's
fucking
no science. And this whole flat Earth thing, globe Earth, flat Earth, it's about science, pure natural science, logic, reasoning, no emotions. Right, so pushing models, claiming models, employing logical fallacies, all these types of things, that's the alarm bells. That's how you separate the wheat from the chaff. Start learning that stuff and recognise it when it's happening in front of you.
Aye. I mean, basically everybody wants to say that everybody's a shirl, everybody's a troll, everybody's an agent. I really don't give a fuck.
No.
I mean, the top guy for the fucking CIA could walk into this shed now and say whatever he fucking wanted to say. See if he had tangible proof to back up what he was saying, I don't give a fuck who he is.
Exactly.
It's his message.
Yeah.
You know, oh, he's for the CIA, he's
Yeah.
a Freemason, he's
Yeah.
Illuminati. No, I mean, how sad is that? It's nothing about the messenger, this is what we keep going back to. Fuck the messenger.
And aye,
It's the message.
and if it's an ego issue, as I say, you know, if I'm wrong and somebody can point something out to me and say that I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up and say fair enough, fair dues. Somebody articulates something to me and points out my flaw in my logic or my reasoning or whatever, then I will address that and look
Yep.
at it open-minded, you know. But that's not what I received. I articulated about logical fallacy and all I got was bullshit,
Aye.
trying to justify it. You know, so at the end of the day, right, people are gullible, too gullible to realise that following these people on the right, but these saviours are going to point that out to them. So then what are these saviours offering these gullible people? Are they-
Different saviour, it's just going to a different concert.
Exactly. That's what it
They're
is.
just sitting there.
You know, and it's so clear to see that game being played
Uh-huh.
when you apply the logic. You know, start pulling back from personality and emotion and start looking at it with a logical, critical mind.
Exactly.
So,
You know.
and as I say, if anybody wants to see this, the screen grab from the instant, fine, I've got absolutely nothing to hide. And it's not that I'm sitting here bitching, but this is observations. I'm not the one that's applying logical fallacy. These people are applying logical fallacy, so I'm pointing that out.
Another wee thing I'd like to add as well, there's another wee MO with these people is they'll attack you at first, call you a tard or this, that and the other. So you'll respond in the same and just say, no, you're the tard. And then they'll come back and say, oh, I see nothing but vitriol and all the rest of
And
it.
it's
You're
funny.
like,
It's funny you point that out because, as I say, when I put that video up and the Laurie Freire one had commented,
aye.
she had a wee groupie that came right at her back
What is it with these
and
groupies,
said,
man?
"Oh, what is the yawn? What is he prattling on about? Oh, 49 minutes. I don't think I can take much more of that."
Oh, don't
Blah, blah.
throw yourself off
You know,
a
that's
cliff.
not constructive. That's, I mean,
I don't mean that. Actually, no, throw yourself off a cliff, but
aye.
metaphorically.
You know, people can have their opinions, but for fuck's sake, I mean, in the video we're trying to articulate, be constructive, you know, so be constructive. If you don't like something, just scroll past. I mean,
Exactly.
you're still free to say whatever you like, but I think it's funny that you get these wee groupies that jump on with these people to defend or try and portray an image, you know what I mean? So,
And people feel that they have opinions on, for talk's sake, a 50-minute video after watching 2 minutes. That's not an opinion, that's a delusion.
Yeah.
And it's uninformed.
we'll jump,
Simples.
we'll jump to another point that I came across yesterday as well. You know, people using things as evidence and proof, you know, because evidence and proof are not the same thing, you know. An example of that is there's been a bank robbery. Police come to my door, they find a ski mask and a bunch of money, right? Now that's evidence that they can then use to try and put it across that I done the robbery. Proof would be video footage of me committing the robbery. That's proof. You know, there is no escaping proof. Evidence can be used to support your story. So when a globe pusher references the sky, they're using the sky as evidence to support their story. It's not proof of a globe. You know, these things that word plays and things that people just don't, you know what I mean? It's
That's what I keep going back to, is the power of the language. People don't understand they're being manipulated
Yeah.
by language,
Yeah.
you know, and once they can start getting past that, then they'll realise what substance is. You know, if someone's actually saying something within what they're talking about or writing about,
Yeah.
you'll be able to pick that up. If it's all just fancy words, then you're just going to sit there and going, oh, that was great, but what did they actually say?
Aye.
You know, I mean, you can probably, there's somebody commenting about Zen and all the rest of it because of the paintings in this shed. What people don't understand is this shed is just an ongoing art project of somebody's personal
Doesn't
path.
mean that we're new agers that believe in all this fucking.
You know, but it's just another one of these phases that people go through in their personal journeys.
Exactly.
Obviously,
Yeah.
the person that designed this shed felt that that was part of them at a certain time. But if you walk around the rest of the shed, you'll see eyes are so much fucking different.
But we don't cling to it and try and
Right.
claim that it's true, you know. But
Aye.
it's,
But it's like anything again, it's like grasping onto the slightest wee point of something and expanding it as a whole.
yep,
You know, as you were saying about evidence to proof.
yep.
You know, it's grasping on something but try to convert it into the whole. It doesn't fit.
Aye.
You know. So watching 2 minutes of a video doesn't work.
No.
Thinking that you know somebody because you've seen them on YouTube or even met them in the street means nothing.
No. No.
So stop latching on to personalities or people
Aye.
or yourself. Start sticking to fact and logic, and believe me, life will be so much fucking clearer.
As I say, you know,
And that's 16 for people that are counting the profanities.
if you're looking for the agents, the ones that are into divide and rule and causing all this problem, apply the logic. If you see them employing logical fallacy and they're not willing to change that, then you know that they've got an agenda to push, and it's as simple as that.
They're either pushing an agenda or they're emotionally attached.
Yeah.
You can't be emotionally attached to fact.
No.
You know, because then it's convoluted. That's when 2 plus 2 does become 5.
Yep.
You can't put emotion into anything.
No.
You know, it's the proverbial, the biggest emotional questions people keep saying to me, yeah, but what if it was your daughter? What if it was your kid? No, that's an emotional situation,
Yeah.
which taints it. You can't play with emotions.
As I say, well, no, this saviour mindset, again, logically it's flawed.
Mhm.
You know, because if you're claiming somebody's gullible, saying, oh, they're being led by such and such, you know, then you're saying that they're no capable of thinking for themselves, or they're not capable of addressing something. So you come along and go, bang, 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 and shoot the messenger that they're following, and they go, all right, okay, well, I'm going to come to you now. Have you instilled critical thought in them? Have you taught them how to think logically? Have you educated them in anything? No. All you've done is shot their idol so that they'll follow you. So you've got a fucking agenda, and I ain't buying any of your crap. I can see right through it. You know, and defending people who are commenting outrageously on your sites and stuff. You know, if somebody crosses a line and employs a logical fallacy and blah blah, then you should be addressing that and fucking clamping down on them and no letting away because it's your wee groupies.
It's taking you down rabbit holes.
And this, I watched the 3 Hour thing, right? And this guy Lawrence Wright, you know, his best proof that the world is flat, how planes fly. You know, I mean, these are people who have got people listening to them.
Right,
and
before
following
you go
them.
any further, what I'm saying here is that you're not actually having a personal attack on Lawrence
No,
Wright
no,
here.
no.
Just on the content.
Aye.
No, the message
No.
itself here.
Aye.
It's nothing about Lawrence
Aye.
Wright. He's probably a brand new guy. I'd probably like to go for a pint with him.
Aye,
But I'm
that's it.
Scottish,
It's no-
I would go for a pint with
It's not about
anybody.
his, it's not about his personality, you know. But for me, never mind that. You've got natural physics right in front of you. You've got water, you know, these things that we can test and observe 100% of the time. You know, stop using things that give people an avenue to have an argument or a debate, because
That isn't a debate.
no, natural science isn't about debating.
It's about discussion. Mind that comment I got the other
Why is it so hard to get this?
Just
through
while we
to
were
fucking
on that
people?
the other day, sorry to interject, but that guy came across and says, I have no I've got no what is it? I can't remember something to do with I've got no understanding of formal science. I don't want an understanding of formal science. I mean, that to me is ridiculous. To him, this is actually, to him, that's obviously a put down, because that's known as projection. You put out what you think you would hurt you yourself, so he's
Yeah.
trying to turn around and say, I have no education in formal science. Fair dues. I might not have.
They're appealing to the emotional level
Correct.
of the
Aye,
onlooker.
as if I'm worrying about my intellectual level, and I don't give
Aye.
a fuck. I could be
Aye.
as dumb as fuck, I don't care. It's not about me basing myself. See, that's another thing people do, they base themselves, but I'm not going to go down that road either. I base myself in nobody but the person I see in the fucking mirror.
I know. Right, I'll take these and we'll just continue out of that, right? Right.
That were
thank you-
prison
thank you very
guards,
much.
Guinness were grubbing.
Yes.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much. Thank you. Cheers. So, and again, I'm not attacking Laurie Freire or Lawrence Wright's character or personality, right? It's got nothing to do with anything. What I'm attacking is their content and how they're approaching things and what they're pushing. Okay?
And that goes for anybody. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I have responded quite vitriolically to a few folk, but at the end of the day, it's how they start off.
Yeah.
So if that's the level they're at, I'll play at that level for a wee while, and then I'll just say, fuck yous, man. You know,
Yeah.
he's bored me.
I know.
There's
I
nothing.
know.
You can't play with nothing.
I know. So I don't know if I touched on, we're talking about logic, I've touched on evidence and proof, you know, and again, I'll reiterate it again. Ask any of these people to explain the logic of referencing the sky as proof for the shape of the earth that they're upon, right? Again, it's flawed logic. There is no, it's no rooted in anything substantial. That you know, it's just fucking stories. You know, that's the same as me saying, right, well, hang on a minute, where's a book? You know, give me a book. All right, there's Spider-Man. So my evidence is that I have lots and lots of books and pictures of Spider-Man. Therefore, I have proof that Spider-Man's real.
Well, he isn't it?
But this is the fucking logic we're dealing with.
Spike Lee says he's real, so
Aye.
there you go.
So according to these ball believer logic, all the cartoon characters and fairy tale characters that are in your books and your videos, they're real. And you have proof that they're real because they're in your videos and in your books. That was one of the things I had. You know, once you wear them down to go, right, so what you're saying to me is that you're using the sky as evidence, right, to push your globe story, but it's not proof of a globe, right? And then they'll come back and they'll say, but conclusive proof is images from the full thing. So we're back to the NASA images again, and that's my point. If they're willing to say that, then Santa Claus is real, Postman Pat's real, all these things are real because we've got images of them. How fucking ridiculous does this need to get? Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, definitely.
And it's
I mean, just as you know about Santa Claus and all the rest, I mean, don't forget the Tooth Fairy.
Aye.
And there's proof that the Tooth Fairy is real because they were in Silence and the Lambs.
Yeah.
They're only as good, there doesn't need the teeth they were wanting, but that's a different story.
But this is the shit I'm
I know.
dealing with on a daily fucking basis. It's fucking incredible. You know?
Just to show you, I thought I'd use that just to show you different perspectives, because a kid had been brought up and never known about the Tooth Fairy, right? But at some point they'd seen Silence of the Lambs and the serial murderer or whatever was that Buffalo Bill or the one previous. Anyway, there's a serial killer called the Tooth Fairy. And that's the first time, so then they hear people talking about the Tooth Fairy. Their perspective is going to be, holy fuck, that's a serial killer. Is it real? They believe in the Tooth Fairy, I thought it was just a film. And that just shows you how the mind can get fucked. Just a wee simple example. There's thousands there. Words.
Because nobody's applying logic, reasoning, critical thought, you know, the scientific method. It's just a big fucking hodgepodge of fucking bitching and attacking and trying to justify their attacks and egos and fucking, fucking sick of it, man.
It's worse than the fucking steamy.
Aye.
The talk of the steamy.
Aye.
It's playground mentality, folk.
Yeah.
Come on, let's
These,
grow up.
these players are trying to capture people on an emotional level, you know, and get you wound up and attacking. These try and say to yourself, if you're getting emotional about any of this stuff, then something's seriously wrong, because it's science. It's no, your emotions shouldn't be involved in it whatsoever, you know.
I mean, here's another example. I mean, you know yourself, you get religious, different than no religious godhead type people going about with their Bibles and all that, preaching about the street. Now, when they approach you, I would like to hear about Jesus or whatever, like, no thanks. They don't go like that. Oh, well, fuck you, you fucking ass, you're going to the pits of hell. You know, sorry to interrupt you. You know, because they've got their wee belief system, they're happy with that.
And they're polite.
And they're polite, and they're not trying to enforce it, they're trying to encourage it, but they're not enforcing it by giving you vitriol and, no wait, fair dues, no. Simple as. So anybody that's going to get emotionally attached, they're actually into a worse religion than Christians are.
Depends what emotional level somebody's at. It's different things are going to appeal to them.
Aye.
You know, if you're in a blaming, poor me, mode, then
The
people,
victim culture
people
of
pointing
nowadays.
fingers and giving vitriol towards somebody might suit you, because then you can join in and go, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's no constructive at all. It's not going to progress anywhere. It's a dead end. The logic of it is a dead end.
It's 1984. Hate time.
Aye.
Have your hate
Aye.
time, shout at a screen, because that's what you're doing on YouTube. Shout
Aye.
at a screen.
It's this fucking pantomime. As I say, start applying this and you will see very, very quickly who the players are. It'll
Who's
become
emotionally
crystal
attached.
clear to you.
Yeah, there
I'm
is
not-
probably folk out there that are genuinely in a belief system, you know, but they've got an emotional attachment and they're going to defend that. But
If there's
they're no all agents, you know.
any genuine people out there who are involved in this, stick your arm out, stick your hand out, let's build bridges between people who are using logic, thinking critically and applying the scientific method and sticking purely to that. That's how we build bridges, that's how we're going to affect people and get somewhere. When we can remove all these players and stop giving them fucking importance. 3 hours of fucking nothing, substanceless fucking crap all the time. You know, it's fine if if you're just having an entertainment show and you want to interview and chat and you blah blah blah, you know. But if we really want to make an impact and we really want to get somewhere, we need to start weeding all this stuff out, refining it down to what is solid, so that there's nothing that can be touched in it. No weaknesses, you know. So, I hope I've covered it all again, you know. I keep doing that, but as soon as that red light starts, you get fucking red light syndrome. You know, you have it all clear in your mind. As soon as it goes, I don't know if I've made it clear. If there's anything you want to say, just to kind of clarify it.
It's just going in circles, mate.
And it's hard because it just looks like we're people, you know, shouting and angry and passionate and bumping our gums, but analyse what I'm saying, you know, analyse
It's
what
not as if the
Marty's
Scottish
saying.
accent is one of the most romantic accents
No,
in the world, you know what I
No.
mean?
Even if you're trying to be romantic, it still sounds as if you're trying to tear the face
Right.
off.
I mean, like the French, you walk out away and I'm like, you damn. You know,
I know.
Scotland, Glasgow, you get a night out. Alright, doll, want a drink? That's as good as it
As I
gets.
say, even if I sat here in a big pink bunny suit, you know what I mean, looking as soft as I possibly could, the voice is still going to throw people.
I can only empathise with the Germans, because you've got quite an aggressive language as well.
Quite grunty, the same as us, you know. And I do get that people struggle to understand, and I apologise for that. I think maybe in the future I'll start trying to employ the
But then again,
James Bond voice or something.
no, but then all you're doing is playing to other folks'
Well,
emotions.
that's it. You know, if you're humble enough and you're really interested in listening to, like, because I do it, it's people typing that are coming from a different country. You know, if you're humble enough and you're really curious at what they're trying to say, you will decipher what they're saying. You'll listen or pay attention to it. You know, as I say, don't just take me as an angry or passionate guy or Marty and his voice. Analyse what we're saying to you. I'm genuine. Yeah, I'm passionate about the truth and want to discover where I truly am, for my benefit, for my kids' benefit, for the people that I care about's benefit. That's my only goal. I want to be popular, not to divide and conquer or any of these things. So analyse what I'm saying. Look at what logic and reasoning we're applying.
Because realistically, once the truth is found, you know, whether it be globe, whether it be flat, whether it be square, cubed, fucking cuboid, parallelogram, tetrahedron, I don't give a fuck what we live on. But as soon as the truth comes out, I can guarantee you, you'll not hear anything else for us.
I don't know, that's it.
You know what I mean? It's not as if
Maybe
you're
a
going to
bit
come and say,
maybe a bit of gloating.
see, we told you, you need to follow us. No, once the truth's out, we don't give a fuck.
Well, that's it. Once the truth's out, that's as I said before, once the truth is out, we don't need religions, we don't need philosophies, we don't need all this let's run about in bewilderment trying to figure it out, you know. As soon as the truth's out, I can be at peace. I've found what I'm looking for, and that's it. That's what I care about. And I will be back, because I'm going to be back for a bit of gloating.
See, I'm not a gloater.
Nah,
I just like to look at things, alright, move on. Back on the train.
I know, I'm just being.
I know, carnaptious.
Yes.
Facetious, perchance. Where's that thesaurus? Oh dear.
You know, you've experienced these things in your life before. We all have experienced it. You know, you learned and go. you know, even if you're out in your groups of your friends and you've got one person who keeps saying to you, oh, this person's a fucking me, you know, I mean, that's, they've got an insecurity about that person, they've got an agenda behind that person, because it's totally illogical for me to take what they say and then base that upon anything.
Aye.
I have to base it on my own experience, you know what I mean?
I keep saying that to folk. What are you listening to them for? You know? Because they're saying, I was like, and have you met this other person? No, so how the fuck do you know? Because they're saying. Yeah, right.
And say, question people about the logic about referencing the sky, and question people the logic when they start rattling on about personalities and trying to diss personalities. We know it's established, and I keep saying it before, stick to facts, what we know, what we can prove empirically without a fucking shadow of a doubt. Anybody using logical fallacies or pushing false maps or stuff that is unproven, be suspicious of them, question them. If they don't retract what they're doing, you know they're a player. Anything else?
There was something I can't think what it was I want to say. Aye, basically what you were saying there, you don't look out the fucking living room window to see what your living room's like.
No.
You know?
No,
So there's
that's
your
it.
logical fallacy concerning the sky.
Aye, that's it. No, we don't live in the sky. No. I feel as if we're repeating all that stuff all the time, but it's like...
But this is the quagmire that's
year
been
into the other.
created. And it's purposely created. It's
Yep.
just mere dilution, mere dilution, mere dilution. All we're asking people is to avoid the diluted
Aye.
shit.
You don't have to get involved in everybody's claims and other things. Understand logic and reasoning, and understand how when people are presenting things to you where the logical fallacies lie. You know, that's it. Once you understand that, you don't need to get involved in the details. You can just look at it and see
Then it
where
just
they're
becomes
applying it.
personal, which is emotional.
Yeah.
And as soon as it gets emotional, they're fucked.
As I say at the start, this is about natural science being as objective as we possibly can, which means removing personalities for it. Because if we left personalities up to personalities, we would never get anywhere.
No.
We'd have nothing.
Hee-haw.
Personalities are for entertainment and entertainment only. That's it.
Wee tash, yeah.
That's all, folks.
There's nothing really else to say on that, is there?
Yeah.
Cheers.